welcome back to CityLine. With me, I have one of my favorite little theaters here in Tacoma, and of course, that's Tacoma Little Theater. Please join me in welcoming back their Managing Artistic Director, Mr. Chris Serface. Welcome back, my love.
Thank you, Amanda.
Okay, let's get that bow tie. Let's get it shot. Now take your finger and smack the tie. It's actually wood. And now let's go to the socks. Can we get a sock cam on Chris? Hold it up there. Hang on. Well, oh, yes! Okay, from head to toe, you are Dapper Dan.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you very much. But this beautiful woman next to you, who I just love and adore, Marilyn Bennett, welcome back.
Thank you, Amanda.
The last time I saw you, you were directing my daughter in a play, and she was singing Hard Candy Christmas.
Yes.
And all I remember is just crying and thinking,
it totally broke our
Marilyn
hearts.
can get my daughter to sing. So there we go. So welcome back.
Thank
and you are the director of A Doll's House,
yes.
which does not surprise me. Speaking of surprises, Miss Annie Katia?
Katica.
Katica, it's beautiful.
Katica. Thank you.
It's beautiful. Katica Green, boy, that's a name that needs to be on the marquee. You are Nora in the Dollhouse. Yeah. So welcome, my dear. It's good to have you here in all of your splendor. All right, so let's talk about this. Why A Doll's House, Mr. Chris? Because you set the season months in advance, and sometimes I wonder if you go, did I really say yes to that?
For our 100th season, which we're in right now, we wanted to celebrate shows we'd done over the past 100 years. And I thought, what better way to do that than go back to a show that was written in 1897 and that we produced in 1935 for our first time. And so Doll's House came to mind, particularly since a few years ago on Broadway, A Doll's House Part 2 was there and won the Tony Award with Laurie Metcalf in the lead role as Nora. And so it was fun to kind of revisit A Doll's House and say, will this work today? And then be surprised at how much it resonates with today and what we go through.
Oh, I love that. Boy, those things are just timeless, you know. I mean, it always resonates, I think. So Marilyn, how did you approach this project?
I was fortunate to find an edition of Doll's House that was essentially public domain. If you produce it in the United States, you can do anything to it that you want, adapt it, cut it, edit it. And I have a wonderful assistant director, Lydia Valentine. I've worked with Lydia now for 5 shows. And Lydia and I spent 2 months nose to nose over a table with coffee, every line. So we created a new adaptation that we felt first honored little theaters wish that it be a 2-act play instead of a 3-act play, but also then just compressed and intensified, made a little more contemporary and accessible, took out a lot of the Ibsen telling you everything and let the actors do that work. And I think came up with a pretty lovely, workable adaptation. The actors seem to really enjoy working in that language. And to me, it just punched up what Chris said about resonating today. It really is. Audiences are vocal.
Yeah, well, yeah, they are. I mean, we in this world of social, as we say, and I hate doing the air quotes, but in the world of social, we have an opinion, and there are no holds bar on our opinions anymore. So people express them freely. Speaking of opinions, as you talked about you and Lydia, and I visualized the coffee and maybe even a glass of wine.
Oh, yes.
What's it like adapting a classic work? Because my first thought was, intake, oh my God, the pressure.
Right. Well, in this case, we felt we had license to do it because the script encouraged it. But what we did was found, I think, 5 editions, one of which was an adaptation that Nick Olson, a designer in town that we've worked with, that he had made and he generously offered. And there was one that was used in Seattle years ago, directed by Eva LaGallian, the great actor-director. And so we laid those out and then just sort of looked at them, talked things through, said things out loud to one another, found what we felt was the voice that retained Ibsen, but also was clear and direct for a contemporary audience. And we did that with every page of a 78-page script, and it was actually really fun. We both loved that.
I can tell Miss Annie loves it because the look on her face is just sheer appreciation and admiration. So, Annie, for you, what was the rehearsal and performance process like?
Well, it was playful. It was invigorating.
Yeah.
You know, I love the early stages of rehearsal where you're just like peeling back these layers. And with a strong text and a smart adaptation, there's just so much that can be uncovered through that process. And it was very collaborative. lots of, kind of listening to one another, lots of questioning.
A lot of round table.
A lot of round table. Yeah, the table talks are in
yes,
many ways
they're
some
wonderful.
of my favorite parts. And I kind of equate it to putting together a three-dimensional puzzle, right? I leave rehearsal every day and think, wow, I feel so blessed to be able to do this with such a remarkable team. And it's like taking this kind of interpersonal story and creating a three-dimensional puzzle out of it, right? This kind of moving story, and it's really an honor to create, and then an honor to share with audiences and have those stories kind of meet right in the middle, right above stage and audience, and you're hearing from the audience what resonates with them, and maybe there are more surprises to be had even in that exchange.
Absolutely. So Marilyn, give us a quick synopsis of what the story is. We just saw the pictures, but I want to kind of just tie it in.
I'll just sort of give you the construct is that a young married woman, very, very happy in a marriage with 3 children, has committed a deed on behalf of her husband's health that is not completely legal and has kept that a secret and is trying to sort of make amends and care for that activity that she's done over the years. She's actually paying off debts and taking care of it, and he doesn't know. And it's the actualizing that she's doing clandestinely, not known. And it's the fact that her husband, who feels he is the power of the family, he is the one who really controls sort of all finances and all of the kind of resonance of how the family operates, cannot know that she has done this. So it's that journey.
Wow, that is such an emotional weight, what you've just...
It's enormous.
It's enormous. Okay, so Annie, you have just generously offered to give us a peek of Nora. So I'm going to turn this over to you.
Well,
you just let us see Nora.
Sure. I mean, I'll just speak to her briefly and then maybe share a couple of lines of dialogue that I think illuminate that. But she, I just adore Nora's, she's clever, she's playful, she's fiercely loyal to family and her commitment to her family. And also, has this secret. I think, early in the play she says, but as she uncovers kind of the weight of this secret and realizes that while it has brought her so much joy and a sense of purpose in her life that exceeds the role of wife or mother, I think she quickly realizes that she's in a bit over her head in the maintenance of that secret. And so 2 lines that I think kind of illuminate parts of that journey are, she says early in the play when she's talking to a girlfriend, I was working so hard, and she says, and it felt good to sit there working and earning money. It felt like being a man. And I think she, in that moment, just kind of allows herself to experience that pride and purpose. And she truly delights in that sense. And then as her secret is jeopardized and her position is jeopardized, she begins to feel the weight of that burden. She says, a man can settle such things so much easier than a woman can. And, that's yet early in the play, as before things kind of escalate for Nora. But I think, even those moments resonate, I think, for our audiences. And that was proof for me, actually, on a Friday, or I think it was the Saturday evening performance, when a lovely woman came and said, and she put her arm on my arm after the show, and she said, I know Nora, and I know Nora's story. And she nodded, and I nodded, and I just felt such delight in her acknowledgement of that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's the ultimate. When you've called inside someone and seen what's written across their heart. Yes, and I bet you she was older, and then we stand on her shoulders.
We do.
I had 3 of my UPS students, 3 young women, come and see the preview. They came to me in tears at the end. And these are 18-year-olds. That really told me.
That gives me hope that they can recognize that.
This is a resonant moment.
Yeah. Chris, let's talk about hope here. What's happening with the remodel? Because we only have a few minutes left here.
We are on the way with the Grab a Seat and Enjoy campaign for the auditorium remodel.
I have my seat. Olivia and I have our seat.
I have a seat.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I'm going to get a seat.
We've been
seats together. Let's do it.
Yeah.
We've been working with our architects, and we've come up with a new seating chart that we're very excited about. And it's going to be a long haul. We've still got a long way to go, but we're hoping that in about a year or so, you'll be walking into a new auditorium in Tacoma Little Theater.
And I also want to talk about real quickly the murder mystery coming up.
Yes.
Because you guys are known for your murder mysteries. So what is it?
It is Murder by Merlot.
Oh, I love this.
The worst way to
As
die
opposed
by
to
Merlot.
pinching by Pinot.
It is at the Social Bar and Grill, February 21st through the 24th. It's $55 per person. Reservations are required. It's a 4-course dinner cooked by the Social's wonderful, wonderful staff there.
Yes.
And then the show is some of your favorite local actors creating the show around you. It's a lot of fun. If you've never been to a murder mystery before, you will enjoy it.
Well, yeah, and also, I mean, the Social, they know food. So will you be taking any shows to state this year, Chris?
We are. It is time for the Washington State Community Theater Association State Festival called Kaleidoscope.
Yes.
This year it's in Prosser, Washington. And we'll be taking a 60-minute cutting of last season's The Pillow Man to contest.
One of my favorite things you have done, The Pillow Man.
Yeah, Martin.
Oh.
It is. The original cast is back. We will do a public preview performance on Sunday, February 24th at 7:30 p.m. The neat thing about these shows are they're 60-minute cuttings. You have 10 minutes to set it up, 60 minutes to do the show, 10 minutes to strike it, and everything must fit in a 10 by 10 foot square on stage. Everything comes out of and assembles to set on
It's
stage.
just incredible to watch it.
It's a lot of fun.
And so that springboards us into, if you can survive that, you can maybe survive summer camp.
Yes.
When does registration start for that?
We'll be opening up registration this very first part of February.
Good.
We've got 2 wonderful shows. We have Mary Poppins Jr. and Susical.
Timely.
That'll be here for our summer students, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Keep your eye on our website, and we will have more information up there on the registration process. But it is a lot of fun for students.
Oh my gosh, and Mary Poppins is going to go like that.
Yeah. Immediately.
Manuel and
The umbrella
Emily.
came in last week.
I cried all the way through the new Mary Poppins because it reminded me of my childhood. So how exciting, because the summer camps, they fill up very, very quickly.
They do.
I want to say thank you to all 3 of you for being here today, for your leadership, for your vision and your direction, and for your inspiration of this character. My break-a-leg wish for you is that you have full houses and many, many young people who find themselves in this story, because we need that now. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you so much.
All right, after a quick break, we will be back here with Tacoma Art Museum. Rock Hushka is here to talk about the new exhibit. You don't want to miss that. We'll be right back.